Hey everybody, my name is Joe and blah blah blah. I am a weapon of mass instruction. I don't know why it's sort of lost its ring a little bit lately, because I've been doing a lot more stuff and a lot less thinking lately. Seems like every day is full of stuff. That's right. Sierra Charlie Hotel Tango Uniform Fox. Stuff. So, you know, this video is not going to have too much of a focus, as far as I can tell, and I may end up rambling quite a bit. It's so much easier to ramble when I can upload via Wi-Fi or a cable connection instead of 3G, or, lucky me, 4G in my home area. Great. Wicked fast. Of course they're going to try telling us that maintaining a 4G network is going to be like way more expensive than they expected in our area, so they're going to like probably raise costs, and you know, most of the sheep will just be like, oh, well, okay, like, I guess so. So, what am I going to talk about? Well, first, real quick, I am going to be out of comm all of tomorrow, and probably I'll be back on Friday. Tomorrow is the 26th, Friday being the 27th, of course, the day we're all waiting for. My ear's not working. And, so yeah, I'll be out of touch for all of tomorrow. Now, where I'm going, I'm not going to be able to carry. And if the shit hits the fan while I'm there, well, it's been nice knowing you. You know what they say, prepare for the worst, or pray for the best, prepare for the worst. That's how it goes, yeah. Or as the Marine Corps taught me, be polite, act with professionalism, and always have a plan to kill anyone you meet, just in case you need to. So yeah, you know, it's that whole belly of the beast thing I was talking about a while back. So I'm going to be doing some stuff, getting a physical done and shit, getting ready for the going back into the military. And if somebody up there, up that chain of command, wishes me ill, where I'm going tomorrow would be a great place to have me in order to make me disappear. And it probably wouldn't take much. Although, I don't think I'm anybody special, so if they call me out of the line for any reason, other than, like, you know, completely normal shit, I'm going to be, well, I'm already going to be condition orange, going into condition red, getting ready for freaking rock and roll time, because, like I said, that would be the perfect place to have me, to make me disappear. A, because I'd have to be unarmed, you know, because of where I'm going. B, because, well, everybody in the real world, everybody I know relatively well knows basically what I'm doing, so, you know, and none of them really knows what military policy is like. So if I do disappear with no trace, some of them might raise questions. Probably my ex would, and, you know, probably a couple of others, but they probably wouldn't wonder too much. They'd be like, oh yeah, well, he's joining the army and shit, so they probably had to deploy him or something. Sucks to be him. But you guys know. The way it works is, I'm going to be going to a place tomorrow, get my physical done. When that's done, I should be coming back to civilian world again. So, you know, like I said, I'm going to get back on, even if I got nothing to say except, hey, how are you? I'm still alive, you know, on Friday. If that doesn't happen, you know, don't go crazy right away, but like, you know, obviously don't go crazy at all. But if I don't make it back on YouTube or Facebook at the very latest by the end of Saturday, that tells you that they made me disappear. Okay? Oh, incidentally, my goatee is gone. That's and Love Truth. This one's for you, babe. So yeah, that's the main thing going on, and I just wanted to give everybody a heads up because of the obvious risks involved. If my paranoia is correct, let me put it that way. You know what? I'd rather be paranoid and on my toes in any given situation and be wrong than walk around like the whole wide fucking world is a bubble and, you know, have the shit hit the fan and I'm totally unprepared for it. I'll be less prepared tomorrow than I normally would, but heightened awareness. You know, you gotta be, when you're going into situations like that. And in all honesty, probably nothing's gonna happen. If they are gonna nab me and freaking make me disappear, they'll probably wait until they can get me and a whole bunch of other veterans all in one place, and then start down the line and give us the choice, you know? So here's the deal. We are God. You with us? No, fuck you. Boom! Next, you with us? It's worked in the past. Or, of course, everything that I'm observing in the world is just a product of my fevered imaginations, and, like, I've got no business talking about it. I should just be writing a fiction novel or something, you know? Maybe that's the truth. And who really knows? Who really knows the true nature of reality? Physical, spiritual, mental, energy. You know? There's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of resources that you could go into. If you want to get a good mind fucking, you know, jump into it head first and be like, whoa. Mind blown. Right out the fucking ear hole. Oh, I woke somebody up yesterday. That was pretty cool too. Insurance spokesperson. So, like, we're waiting for some information to process, and we're on the phone, and, you know, we're just standing by. And so I asked her if she knew anything about, you know, the Colorado incident, and she's like, yeah, I heard about this, that, and the other thing, and I was like, yep. It could have been an inside job. And she was like, what? No way. I was like, well, it's the perfect bit of ammunition that the gun control people need in order to push their fucking laws. She was like, wow, you make a good point. And, you know, not a lot of people know this, but, you know, Obama's signing the UN gun trade treaty, which none of us really knows what's going to be in it and what's not going to be in it and how is it going to affect us. But that's going down on the 27th. And she's like, wait, that's the opening day of the Olympics. I was like, exactly. Why do you think they're signing it that day? She's like, because everybody's going to be watching the Olympics. I was like, bingo. She was like, oh my God. Oh my God. I told her, I was like, there's a wealth of information there. Your eyes have been opened. You can't go back to sleep. You know, I told her where she could find me here on YouTube. So if you're watching this, good morning. Good morning. I like that. You know, that makes me happy. You know, I don't wake people up every day. I would love to, but if we all keep persevering, we all keep screaming the truth, and we all keep doing whatever we're good at doing, you know? Like, I love the way my brain works, and I commented about that, and people talked to me about it a little bit, and it's great. I love this, the way I can, like, see two totally different pictures at first glance, and then I can look into them and be like, wow, they're totally talking about each other. You know what I mean? That's, you know, that's one of the things I'm good at. I'm good at guns, and I got to get back into that and teach you all some more stuff. I really have to, especially with this shit coming in 2 days. So whatever you're good at, whatever your skills are, keep on applying them. Keep on doing it. You know, keep on doing what's fun, and it'll all work out. In other news, they chemtrailed the shit out of us today. Yep. That's more of the same. That's not really news, but it seemed like we had a good run there up here in Pennsylvania where there wasn't any chemtrails. And like over in Jersey, they get chemtrails every day. At least where my sister is, she gets chemtrails every day, but it doesn't really affect her breathing and anything. But you know, that's that. It's like for us, it doesn't happen that often. But every now and then you'll have a day where it's like, boom, straight gray across the sky. And you know, if anybody's just tuning in, you can tell when it's a chemtrail. If the contrail is staying there for a good long period of time and slowly turns into a cloud, it's a chemtrail. More likely than not. Because regular contrails are supposed to be nothing more than water vapor and CO2. That's it. I think there may be supposed to be some carbon monoxide as well. I'm not sure, but anyway, like regular contrails are supposed to dissipate. Even if it's a cloudy day, they're supposed to freaking dissipate. I've had days where there's clouds all over the sky, little breaks of sunshine, and I see a jet going, and freaking I can see the freaking trail is disappearing just like it normally would. You know? Even on a cloudless day. And then today, totally cloudless in the morning, jets start flying, boom, overcast. So you can definitely tell the difference, and that's just like one of the first layers of the rabbit hole. It all comes down to the same crazy shit. But it ain't so crazy when you get all the facts put together and you connect those dots. And anybody can do it, really. It's just a matter of not just taking anything at face value, you know, recognizing that the powers that be, you know, the media, the government, the Illuminati, the order, they're going to lie when it suits their purposes. You know, and they may be lying as well even when it doesn't. And there may be news items that don't even actually occur. As crazy as that sounds. Because a lot of this is like, how hard would it be to doctor something? Like, honestly, now, this is probably the worst example, but let's take Colorado, Aurora. How hard would it be to doctor something like that? You know? Who knows? Who knows? Who really knows? If you weren't there at the theater, then you don't really know. All we know is what they tell us. That's it. That's, we can't even really know that. It's just what they're telling us. The truth can be so far different from what they're actually saying. It would be mind-boggling to think about. But even situations where they have quote-unquote live footage. Now, obviously, things like the 9/11 and the World Trade, the Pentagon and all that definitely happened, obviously. But because people, like all sorts of people were there, and you can go to Manhattan and you can see that there's no Twin Towers, so obviously it happened, But a situation where there's no structural damage, how hard would it be to get people, like, just regular people, tell them that, they're going to be bit actors in a new war movie or, something like that, a movie about World War III. Okay, so here's the scene. You guys are all sitting in the theater, and, this terrorist is going to bust in, and he's going to throw gas, and he's going to lay waste, but don't worry, it's going to be all blanks. And who knows, they could do it with all blanks. And of course, that's probably not the case here, because there's friends and family who knew some of the victims, and they're, of course they're out there. But then again, at the same time, couldn't they be told, like, hey, you're going to be a bit player in a new war movie. Your role is, you just lost your son, you just lost your husband, you just lost your daughter, and you're going to be talking about it to the media, and we're going to make it into a movie, and they wouldn't even know, and they could just act, and maybe even do a damn good job of acting too. Who knows? Again, like I said, all we really know is what they're telling us. Where was I going with that? I have no idea. Reality, mind-blowing. Yes. I'm sorry, I'm short of sleep, trying to stay hydrated. Gonna be short of sleep tonight. Ah, well. Venus. Our next door neighbor. It is the morning star this time of year. Moving on into the fall, it's on the side of the sun that appears before the sun actually does at sunrise, as opposed to the side of the sun that is still showing after sunset. That makes sense? Right. So Venus, for whatever reason, is looking a little bit brighter than it normally does. I was talking to my brother about it. He noticed this, and I noticed this. But everybody knows about the morning star. But I realized, like, it looked wicked bright compared to the way it's normally supposed to look. So, is that still Venus, or is that something else? Because there were two objects there in that morning that I saw it. And if you get up way early, 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock, just before the sun rises, you'll see it. You'll see two objects in the sky. And, my star map app on my phone and Stellarium both say that it's Jupiter is the dimmer one and Venus is the brighter one. But again, who the hell knows? And you know what? People keep on saying, like, yeah, there's nothing crazy happening out there, because if there was, thousands of amateur astronomers would be screaming that there's something crazy going on up there. How the fuck do you know? Quick question, anybody watching this, are you an amateur astronomer? How much stuff do you know about our solar system other than the names of the planets and a couple of the moons? and where they're located, and some of the constellations. How much of that do you know without looking at Wikipedia? I don't know about you, but most stuff that not even just Wikipedia, but anything, without looking at a reference source. My point is, I don't know a whole lot about it. I know I look up in the sky every once in a while. I do see some crazy stuff every once in a while, and after a couple of trials, I realized that most of it cannot be picked up on my phone. Now that I have the laptop, I can probably copy videos from the phone to the laptop and check it out there, and hopefully get some better footage in the future if I do catch something. But because I haven't even bothered, trying to find stuff, whatever. But the point being, there may be tens of thousands of amateur astronomers out there, but it's very easy to mistake one object out there for another object. I don't know how powerful the telescopes they sell in stores are nowadays, but the last time I looked through a telescope, I saw the moon. It was 3 times as big. That wasn't a terribly great telescope. But there's not a whole lot of huge telescopes out there that can really magnify stuff and look at it in the infrared and all that. Those are some really hefty, expensive pieces of equipment, and you have to rent time with them and all that stuff. So not a lot of people get access. And so if there is something crazy going on up there, how hard would it really be to hide it? Truly. There's a lot of stuff out there that obviously you cannot see with the naked eye, even at the best of times. So for all of us looking at stuff with the naked eye, there's a lot of stuff out there that we might be missing. And for everybody that's got, even a nice telescope that you buy from the store, there's probably a lot of stuff up there that you might be missing. Especially because, a lot of amateur... the sky is a huge place. Outer space is vast. Let's just break it down real quick. 360 degrees in a flat circle, right? All right? And then you got 360 degrees in the y-axis. And, multiply that 360 by 360 degrees. That's a lot of, places you could look in just 2 planes of vision. Now multiply that number by the number of different angles that you could be looking at across the sky. The z-axis. And there, now you're getting kind of close to how vast, how many places you could be looking with a telescope and not see anything. And you could be literally this far off from the biggest discovery or the biggest breakthrough of the 21st century, This much. This is a lot of space when you're talking angles, because it's not going to be like that all the way out there. This much at the point of the telescope comes out to be billions and billions of miles when you get out there. And especially the further you get out there. Incidentally, that's also how minutes of angles work. Minutes of angle. If you're zeroing in a scope or an optic, a lot of the times it'll tell you something like 1 click equals 1/4 of an inch at 100 yards. That's the standard for a lot of mainstream market scopes out there. And they standardize it so it's easy for anybody to pick it up, and if they already know that formula in their head, 1 click equals 1/4 of an inch at 100 yards, then you already know, and most people zero at 100 yards or so, And it's not hard to change from one distance to another. But the point is, it's the same principle. 1 click equals 1/4 of an inch at 100 yards. You divide that by 3, about 3, or you can divide it by 4, whichever you prefer, to get about 30 yards or 30 meters, either way. And that click now equals a 1/12 of an inch, because that angle is so much smaller at 30 yards or 30 meters than it is at 100 yards. If you're trying to zero at 300 yards, or you're doing a confirmation at 300 yards, you're going to have to multiply that number by 3. So at that point, one click would equal roughly just under an inch at 300 yards. That's 1 inch, right there. And if you're proficient with a rifle and you're trying to pick a target at 300 yards with that rifle, that 1 inch can make the difference between winging them, between grazing them, and between a clean miss, just keeping his head down, especially if you miss high. So, those numbers make a huge difference. Alright, so you already got the main message I wanted to put out there. I did that first. And you already got some of the crazy stuff that's pouring out of my head right now in the absence of input. So, there we go. I gotta take care of some business in life. And if the shit doesn't hit the fan for me, then I'll be back online Saturday night at the latest. If the shit does hit the fan for me, if I disappear, well, you know what's going on with that. You know who did it, or what general direction to point the finger, at least. And, you might want to think about executing the next phase of your plan on when the shit hits the fan, on how to bug out, on how to survive. So, not necessarily saying go ahead and execute it, especially if you're like one of those people that, wants to, set up like an impenetrable fortress. Maybe that's not the next stage of the plan necessarily, but you know what I mean? Like, it depends how drastic your plan is in a shit hits the fan situation. For me, well, it's basically a matter of just ensuring that my loved ones are protected, and that's not too hard to do, hopefully. That's all I got for you. I'm trying to think if there was any other crazy stuff I wanted to talk about. Yeah. I think that's it. And if you've listened to me this far, then thank you. You guys rock. Y'all stay safe now. Peace.